Voila! Okay, hi there. My name is Jarek, you know me already. Oh, we got graphic other way around. I'm Jarek here, that's Szymon here.
Yeah, hello.
Just a quick one, I'm here with Szymon today, so he's gonna help me out with answering questions regarding Heroes of Might and Magic. I'm gonna be doing the normal update part of the projects. We got loads to show you, especially Spruce, so I'll take this one out of the way. But before we move into a Spruce and to show you stuff, I just want to answer a few questions which are here not related to home. So just quickly, yes, Derek, we should be okay. I think, I hope so. So let me just go and quickly answer one more question regarding where was it? So, okay, so any news about the way for Battleground? It will be, I think the blog post should be before Christmas. The release schedule is now for the first quarter of 2023 for Horde faction. So you should know that, I think, already. But we're going to be working towards the full release for the next year, which will be published in January. We have model scope this time around. We are really ahead with design development, and with rules, with everything, so we should be fine. Okay, Szymon, do you want to answer any questions before we move on to show?
Yeah, we can answer a couple, maybe.
Go for it. Which one do you want to go for it? So should we just say something about
that? Yeah, if you check the update today, there's some information, or there's some teasers that you might look forward to. I definitely recommend checking the update out.
Yeah, I believe there's some information for tomorrow left, isn't it?
Yeah, there's information tomorrow. Yeah. There's going to be a blog post. There's going to be an update. So
yeah, something you have been kind of expecting. So siege mechanic implementation in Battlefield expansion.
Yeah, as you said, the tiles are going to be flipped over. Right now, it's still being looked at. It's still undergoing testing. I think we'll have the graphics ready for it tomorrow. But apart from that, like, we'll just show it all later. There's no issues about that. So
yeah. Is there any different castle mechanics for each faction? Mines, towers, double layer. Okay. So one thing about questions which we won't be able to answer right now, I think we have in the comments as well, Jakub, our and also our rules team. So if we're not going to be able to answer any questions right away, or your question won't be answered during the during live chat, the guys will help us out and they will answer your questions right away. Okay, we will at least try to do it because there's plenty of questions and so on. So yeah, oh my goodness, there's lots of that. So maybe let's move on to a Spruce. Let me show you first Spruce. Oh, Jakub is joining us, so Jakub is actually in the comments, so you can poke Jakub as well, or Jacek, any of those guys to answer question. Yeah, it's young.
Yeah, we should probably switch places if you don't mind. Or...
No, it's okay. It's fine.
All right. You can be the.
It's okay. It's fine. Happens sometimes. Okay, so maybe let's move to the. Yes, we know. The names are flipped. One sec. Maybe I'm able to fix that one right away. Oh yeah. So that's Szymon.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live, so...
We're doing it live.
If I... look at me, I'm not that old though. Okay.
Good job.
Good job.
You can use the mouse.
I can use the mouse. I'm the mouse master. Okay. Well, okay, let me just move to the some presentation. I got a few slides, as always, prepared for you. I have extremely good news, so I want to share with you. So the presentation, let me just clear that one, and then... what we're going to be talking about today, it's basically we have encounters updates as always with Spruce. I've got plenty of Spruce to show you. In the meantime, you're also going to be answering some questions from home, so very well. And then later some shipping information about the Fields of Eternia and Dungeons, Lasers, Encounters as well. So I've got that schedule for you to show you. And then obviously towards the end, we're going to be answering your AMA questions from Discord and as well everything from the chat. Addition, okay? Still a young CEO. No, not that young, I'm 40. I'm getting old. So freshly baked spruce. As always, this time I've got loads to show you. Loads. Let's just go for unboxing camera. Hello, works. Let me just start with basis. So this is one of the sprues which was, you wanted to see it. We finally made that sprue. It's in production now. Now, a couple things about this sprue. We needed to make the detail a little bit flatter on it. This is basically on the comments we had from dungeon lasers, for previous dungeon lasers, because of we need to make sure that you're going to be able to put the model on it and glue the model on it, and it will be firmly attached to the base. But they're still holding a lot of detail, and you can paint them the way you want. So that's one of the sprues I wanted to show you. That's the first one. Yes, this and this. So here we have our giant model. I was promising to show you that model. It's actually one of the first models we have engineered, which is slightly different engineering-wise to our previous models. I will explain why. And we have some stiff stuff that move, and we have some additional components, elements you can attach to the model, like a mask, for instance. It's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful model, and that is made out of that one sprue, so a single sprue. And this is what I wanted to mention, that for the first time, really, we added a lot of push fit elements. So you will be able to assemble this model with only gluing two parts. One of his leg, and one of them is being the globe. So you have to glue the globe and push it into those two rivets there. So that's the sprue. Let's move on. You probably haven't seen this. So to show you scale, let me just grab any of. Can you pass me any model there? The plastic one, please. The plastic one, the grey one. Yeah, great. Okay, so that's 32 millimeter model. You won't be able to see the model now. Anyway, we adjusted the camera just to make sure you can see clear everything, and that is the tower, the entrance to cave, right? Yeah, to cave, and that's the sprue. And same situation here. It's everything push fit, so you can just push it fit. You don't have to glue it. Okay. Next one is this sprue, and here as well have plenty of engineering solution with push fit, so no glue required. And with that sprue, I made this, and that. Yep. So all those elements. Okay. Then we have some questions. Go for it.
Yeah, just a couple questions. This is an official licensed product from Ubisoft, so there's no need to worry about any sorts of licensing problems or anything like that. About Alamar and Jedi.
We have a graphic ready for that.
Yeah, there'll be some information later on in the slideshow, so there's no need to worry. They have two different abilities. You don't need to worry. I'm sure we definitely have some people playing the soundtrack. We have lots of fans. Personally, I don't discriminate. There are plenty of games that I enjoy. Lots and lots of strategy games as well. I'm sure my dad also is a big strategy fan. Yeah, I think we can just move on with the
okay,
spruce.
Let's move on with the spruce. Okay. So that's the sprue for towers and small village elements, and also you get 4 of these. So there's something additional we needed to add in. It's these doors. Basically, we didn't have them at the beginning on the Kickstarter page, on the game account page, and we needed to add it in only because when you assemble it, you need to add the entrance. So you can assemble it at any angle with 45-degree rotation angle here, I believe. So yeah, that's the tower. Okay. Can you pass me gray model? Gray on a gray base model, because that, a second, maybe this one I will grab. Okay. So just to show you the scale, that's the scale to 28mm model. Okay. Then we have this. And it's made out of the same sprue, but you get 4 of these. So basically you just glue them together. Small hat. And you got detail inside as well, so you can paint it or use it as any other type of prop. And the cage. The cage. Right? So that is on that sprue. Then I want to show you, I don't know if I was, I think I wasn't showing this, right? I was showing you tool last time. This is one of the, I think, the best model we've made so far with this set.
It definitely looks amazing.
It looks, yes. So loads of detail. It's quite easy to assemble, to be honest. I was assembling without the manual, so, and I'm old. Okay, and it's made out of one sprue. And that's the sprue for it. So, yep. Cool. And the last one, and we can move on to the next stuff, is this sprue. It holds 2 miniatures. One is Leshy miniature, so that's the Leshy miniature. Now we finally got it. Not really finally, but we got it. It's going to show you scale, but I don't know when okay, never mind. And then we have that tree, which is also on there. I think it's Enchantress tree.
I'm pretty sure it's a Dryad, right?
Or Dryad tree, or something like that. One of those. Okay. That's 2 of them. And yeah, I believe that's all for Spruce today. Let me go quickly through the slides just to show you where we are with the projects and when we are going to be shipping it, because that's good news then. Okay. A few tooling designs. We have finished designing tools, and this is the last tool before we move to a huge Tarask. So just quickly, I can show you that we have all of them designed. And some of the tools are already being cut. Some of the tools are being almost ready. So I should have on the next live more Spruce to show you. Let's quickly talk about our past plastic projects. This is very important because now I'm going to be talking a little bit about the shipping. So past plastic projects. This is our last 2 years projects of plastic injection stuff we've been making in-house. All the projects. So for Dungeons Lasers, it was shipped on time, which is amazing. Dungeons Lasers 3 was shipping started 3 months before the date on a Kickstarter. Rampart 3, that was our record. Our record was then shipping it 6 months earlier. So it's quite good record. I think nobody else did that on a Kickstarter when they promised to ship something 6 months before. And then Encounters, this is the one which is currently only the one outstanding projects which we have. The plan was shipping in May, but we're looking at shipping in January, February. So that's a good news, I think. So again, we're going to be shipping 1 million euro, more than 1 million euro project, 3 months before due date. And just quickly to show you how we're going to do that, because it's combined with a Fields of Eternia. So we have a December and January divided into 4 weeks. So we have a first, second, and third week, and then obviously 4th week, which is the Christmas when we're on a shutdown. So there's nobody in the factory. We are just having that week off. And then first week in January is also short week when we have one national day on the 6th. And I think the 2nd will be also off. So this means only very short week. And then we have following, obviously, normal weeks of operation. Fields of Eternia, currently this is the prediction, so it should be on a boat in the 2nd week of December. If we're gonna get it, it should be with us first week in January, which means that when it goes to the customs for about 1 week or 2 weeks, depending if the customs wake up after Christmas break, we should get it round about 2nd week of January, and then shipping will start round about 3rd to 4th week. Okay. In terms of Dungeons, Lasers, Encounters, Here the situation is slightly different because we are making stuff in-house. So manufacturing and assembling, I will show you in a second the pallets of stock. It's happening all the time. So those spruce I showed you, they've been already manufactured and they've been put in the boxes already. And then obviously we're stopping for 2 weeks or week and a half roughly, and then we carry on till January. And my expectations are towards the end of the January we should be able to start shipping entire projects of Dungeons and Lasers encounters. I think that's good. Yeah, and that's how the stock looks currently. We have lots of boxes already prepared for you, and we're getting there. We're getting really there. Just the final things about encounters. A few questions pop out. If you want to read it out.
Generic question. Everything on track for encounters? Unexpected speed bumps? Maybe some info on heroes and villains? Anything previewish for the Tarask would be cool too. Sprue renders, sprues, or maybe even a prototype. Depends how far you are. I also really like the Excel sheets showing the progress of separate pieces. Would like to see one of those again.
Okay. So let me just quickly answer. Everything is on track. It's even better than on track because, you know, obviously we're planning to start shipping in January. In terms of unexpected speed bumps, not at the moment. I don't see anything on the horizon that might affect the shipping. So this is why we finally can say to you, look, expect the parcels in January, February. Now, more information about heroes and villains will be in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to be able to show you. I will have a few slides for that project as well to explain, because lots of things happen. We have many brainstorm sessions here about how we can approach this project to make sure it's spot on, it's what we want to do, and so on. The quality is there, and so on. So I got lots to share with you about that project, but I don't want to take a little bit of airtime today on that one because of the heroes. Anything about the Tarask? Yes, I have a small video I'll be showing just in a second about the Tarask. Yeah, so let's move on to the next one. Again, Tarask, and again Tarask. Now that's an interesting question. So can you read it out? Sorry, I'm old. I don't see it.
Sure. Regarding the Tarask, how are you approaching such a huge miniature compared to other normal ones?
Okay. We develop our own process of working with large volume miniatures, and we're extremely proud about it because it was like looking at the ways of trying to piggyback on current processes in order to actually make something which is kind of not designed for that. So as you might know, the software we work with, like everybody else works with the software, it's not purely designed for this kind of work. We have like STL, very heavy large objects. But we find the workaround and we're quite happy with it, although it takes a lot of time and much more work and time to actually cut the model. In fact, this is the last model we are working on, which needed to be cut for, I think there's also 3 which I haven't showed you, and 1 more dragon which I haven't showed you, but I'm keeping them for the next update. But that is the last model to be cut, and it will be available for manufacturing within the next couple of weeks. So definitely some more updates about it. Any Black Friday deals on the shop? No, we haven't done any Black Friday deals on the shop, and only one reason why is because the entire team is busy with running the campaign at the moment, so everyone focus on that one. Although next year we have a few more people starting in the business for project management, purely project management, because with so many stuff we make in house, like manufacturing. We also make production for other companies, so that needs to be properly now managed, because at the moment some part I'm managing, some other parts some other guys managing. So regarding the video, you asked for the Tarask, so I don't know if the video and the scale will tell you anything about it, but it's a huge model. So here you can see how many pieces. We're trying to cut to the level of about 21 pieces per this model. Currently it's about 21 pieces. So I really hope it's gonna stay like that, but you have to bear in mind it's a huge model. It's like this. It's like my head times 3 or 2, something like that. So it's gonna be massive. This is a huge challenge, but we have experience with making some big stuff. Let me just show you some stuff we are making past. Like we made something like this. Obviously it's only maybe half of the size, but it's still a huge model. So I'm not kind of worried about it. Maybe some engineering solution, we will have to find it on the spot, but yeah, we're good at it. Okay, so let me just go to the comments. Let me check if we have any comments regarding the current projects and then we're gonna move on to heroes, and then I will give it past the oh Jesus Christ. Okay, it's a river of comments. Do you see any which I should be addressing straight away? So if I'm not going to be addressing anything, I will make sure I will try to address with the next update, okay? Which one? For the castle grade school setup for my... we don't know. We don't know yet. More information about that one will be available at some point. But if we're going to have to do it, we're going to have to do brand new, from scratch, something else, something different that we have currently for Fields of Eternia. I think it would be great idea to have amazing campaign, like, you know, two-player co-op campaign within the battlefield, just focusing on the castle grade school. But stay tuned, something we have in plans. Rampart Forest miniatures. Oh, okay, so now let's maybe move on to quickly to heroes. If you have questions, someone there, so maybe let's go start with those questions. If you
yeah, sure. Can we expect more tower map tiles at some point? Unfortunately, not at this stage. It was deemed unnecessary due to how the campaign was designed. Mainly, the map tiles are designed around what's needed in the campaign, in the solo campaign. So, unfortunately, there's no plans right now.
Some of those.
Okay, some other questions. What's with the siege extension for the battlefield expansion? There was a trailer that dropped today. It was also shown off in the update. Right now, as stated, the terrain tiles are going to be double-sided, and you'll be able to use them to simulate a siege, basically. And what's with the Alamar Jedi issue? Yeah, as stated before, they have the same name for the ability, but they're two completely different abilities. They function differently. I think we have a graphic.
Yes, we have a graphic for that one. Yeah. Towards the end of the presentation, I will show you the graphic. So,
are there going to be neutral cards for faction creatures not used in the current game? So, I think the short answer is no. When it comes to like the faction, like units from other factions that aren't currently in the game, they're not going to be neutral units. However, I believe for the factions that are currently in the game, there will be neutral units for them. So you'll be able to meet like a Halberdier on the map, or like a Troglodyte or something similar.
Yeah. So just stepping in here just for a second. That was one of the requests from one of the beta testers and also reviewers for the for, let's call it, alpha game or prototype. And yeah, we just look at it, and we always listen to your comments. We always listen to comments of reviewers, especially those ones which really want to go deep into the game, and you know, and see some things which might always improve the quality of life in terms of gameplay. So yeah, we listen to you guys, and we have some implemented that one as well. So as is there's also one about the sizing of the minis of the hexagon board, some 2 hex creatures.
I believe that's not in the game. It's not planned. It would take up way too much space, and it's just not. Generally, the game is designed to take up as like the least amount of space as possible, but in the most compact way. So a lot of the content is really concentrated, because we know that a lot of board gamers have problems having enough space on their table, because some of the games just take up so much space. But this game, we kept that in mind when designing the game. Yeah, and it generally you don't need like 10 kitchen tables to play.
Yeah, just a few things which we discuss. We discuss constantly about when this project started, how we want to construct the rules, and what we need to make sure that the game is very, very close to the original video game, right? So some of the solutions we implemented are not strict board game solutions, if you know what I mean, and they needed to be put in there only because they work with the game, so give you a little bit of. That will give you a little bit of feeling, or well, not a lot of feeling from the video game. But yeah, one of them was basically making sure that miniatures on the round bases, maximum size of the base is 50 millimeter, which means that's where the hex one is actually 50 millimeters, which in overall battlefield, I believe is around about 90 centimeters or something like this. So it's quite large anyway, but not that large that will cause the the problems with setting up and playing the game. Okay.
Just one more thing. We just want to welcome Heroes Orchestra to the chat. Big shout out to you guys. You guys are great. Keep it up.
I'm gonna see you on 4th. I'm going to. Jakub is going. I'm trying to convince my wife. I think she's definitely going to say yes. So I'm going to see you at 4th of the December. I don't know if Shimon wants to go.
The cultural fair, I think, in Warsaw, right?
Yes, in Warsaw. So we might go there. If you want to go, no problem as well. So okay, let's check what we have. More questions. We have more questions. I would like talk. Nature creatures will work with the battlefield expansion. That's something we have to definitely address.
I believe right now it's still being designed, the Battlefield expansion. I'm not entirely sure if it's designed around holding, like, being compatible with every kind of battle. It's not meant to be a complete replacement for the combat board. So yeah, we're still working on it. Yeah, we'll be sure to show it off.
We'll give you more information about it once the team finally close everything around it, okay? Around the rules and around, especially about this topic, about the Battlefield expansion. More questions. Here we have some questions. The question mentioned to, but not answered during the last AMA.
Yeah, sure. So, what would box size and weights be? At least rough estimates. Base game, expansions, Grail tier. As part of the question, do Azure stretch goals minis come in base game expansion boxes, or would there be a separate box for them? When it comes to the box size, it's still being decided, because I believe we're trying to implement space for card sleeves as well. So unfortunately, we can't answer that question right now, but as soon as we can, we will. Because card sleeves were a very, very asked question. Like during the Fields of Eternia campaign, we had plenty of people asking for card sleeves, and we decided to at least try and implement it here.
Yeah. So definitely it will be implemented. I believe we also spoke about the sockets, to make the sockets much bigger in the core game. Then you can actually hold all the cards from your expansions into just one box. That's not the case for the miniatures, obviously, because miniatures will have a separate box. However, in the core game, there will be enough room, should be at least enough room to hold every single expansion paper content, right? So, well, we will try at least. We'll see what we can do. Obviously, not quite sure about how much tiles we can put on, but that's the aim. We're currently having chat with manufacturer to give us some roughly, let's say, estimate about the boxes size and everything else. Now, it's really difficult to actually tell you what the box sizes will be because we don't know when we're going to finish with the stretch goals, right? So we don't know what else. We don't know what else we're gonna be added in. We might end up with unlocking every single stretch goal. Then yeah, okay, right? So what's the?
Yeah, I do believe there's gonna be a separate box for stretch goals, though, right?
Yes. So those things come in with this must come in the separate stretch goals. They're not part. The thing is that we cannot add anything to something which is going to be kind of available in retail, if you know what I mean. So if I have a core game, I cannot put content from unlocks whatsoever in a core game, because then when it comes to actually making this core game for the retail, we're going to have to remove that content. And what will happen there, you have like small, let's say, I don't know, sockets for the miniatures. Everybody will be asking questions, where are my miniatures and so on. So yeah, we have to have like kind of separate products.
And one last question from 793. What table size would be needed for 4 players with the Battlefield expansion? 2 Royal Feast tables? As stated earlier, not necessarily. When you're playing with the Battlefield expansion, it's obviously going to take up a bit more space. But for that, we also have the adventure deck. If you want to play with the adventure deck, it's fine. You don't have to. It's there as an option. But it's just that if you don't have enough space, you can just use it. Or if you just want to get straight to the fighting, then that's also possible. But yeah, the game is definitely designed with a lot of like space in mind. With space in mind.
Yeah. Let's check what's more there.
Will there be a Battlefield integrated mode, not adventure or skirmish? Real gameplay video available before the Kickstarter campaign ends. Not just a teaser or rules, but a playthrough practice like Quackalope did for the base game, hopefully in English. That's rather questionable. I don't think we have enough time before the
end of campaign.
Yeah, as stated before, it's still being designed, it's still being worked on. We want to make it as best as possible, so people definitely enjoy it. But unfortunately, before the campaign ends, I don't think that would be possible for like a gameplay video or anything similar.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, let's see what we have. And more questions? Yes.
How come Tower Mini comes before Castle Mini Tower in stretch goals? Would be super weird to have an expansion town mini, but only part of it part of base game town minis? That's a good question.
It's a good question. I think I think we shouldn't be worried about unlocking those things.
It might just be a minor.
Yeah. I think it's okay. I think sometimes when it comes to stretch goals 3, there's we put that one basically in order, but sometimes we just misput in order. But there shouldn't be any problem with unlocking it. I think it should be unlocked overnight anyway, so it's gonna be fine. Do we know exactly how many cope scenarios will be there? Also, what is the expected timeline for such single scenario?
Yeah, right now I believe there's 2 in the base game and then 1 in every expansion. And the expected playtime is around, I think, 45 minutes per player. Some of the scenarios are for 2 players, some of them are for 3 players, or some of them you can play with either 2 or 3 players. So yeah. They're pretty cool. That's
very important because we have been saying all the time constantly that how long the game lasts, and we always keep saying the same story and the same the principal designing idea is that we need to actually have 45 minutes tops per player. So yeah, I mean, nobody wants to play 6-7 hours game, regardless how much you love video game. I don't think playing a video game which is going to last entire 2 days or 3 days is not good.
I mean, it's possible. Like if you're playing, I mean, it's obviously the game isn't designed around more than 4 players, but it's technically possible if you figure something out with the expansions. Then you can play those campaigns lasting like 8 hours if you're really into it. We don't recommend it for your sanity.
You guys played long board games, right? Which last long?
I personally do with my friends.
Entire night.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. Oh, look at it. Okay, talk it through.
Yeah. So, due to popular demand, the specialty name was changed or updated. For Jedi, it's now Mysterious Warlock.
I think the only problem was we had the same name for the specialty, but in fact the specialty was different. It was designed differently, and what caused the confusion was that it was calling the same, right? That was the confusion.
Yeah, they both specialties had the same name.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the starting ability was also changed for Jedi, I believe, from Wisdom to Sorcery.
Yeah. So you can see them now clearly different. I hope that cleared it.
Yeah. We hope that clears any misconceptions or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through maybe comments here. Let's have a look and pick it up if you want to answer any. Go.
Yeah, sure. So,
one second. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. It was some question. I've got one more to show you. Oh yeah, Jacob already answered the licensing the whole franchise. Now there is a possibility to add many other things to this game in the future in retail. So whatever you think, in terms of license, then yes, we have an option to actually add more stuff. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So for questions,
what's the 3-minute stretch goal? I don't tell you. I won't tell you.
Listen, I would rather keep my head on me right now, on my body. I'm not spoiling anything. We're not spoiling anything.
No.
It's a secret. I'm sure you'll be happy. You'll be very happy once you unlock it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say.
I know you won't find it, but one of the guys actually, by mistake, posted on the... Not by mistake, he just basically guessed it.
Yeah.
One of the backers guessed it. And so if you go through all the guesses, there's about 1,000 of them, so you have a small chance of, a fraction of the percentage to actually find out which one is it. But there is one backer who definitely knows what is that about. Like literally spot on, because it's actually what I can say, only what I can say. It's 2-step process. So yeah. But anyway. Okay, that's it. No more. No, nothing else.
This is a pretty interesting question. Generally speaking, it's not designed around the neutral miniatures aren't really designed around that, but I'm pretty sure I saw a very similar post by a backer on the Kickstarter in the comments. Generally, we encourage house rules. There are a couple of house rules at the back of the towards the back of the rulebook. But if you feel like you'll have more enjoyment playing that way, like placing the miniatures on the map tiles, and then actually searching for that card. So you actually fight that creature when you step onto the tile. Then by all means you can play that way if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally speaking, there are the solo scenarios are very narrative driven. There's a lot of story, lore, a bit of reading, decision making that does affect how the map works. And the how the exact AI works is also stated in the scenario.
So that's different for every single scenario. So AI works differently for different scenarios.
Yes.
Okay, let me just maybe I'll answer this one because I think it's very important. So in terms of we are handling those business questions. So in terms of VAT and tax, we only at this stage have a let's call it a VAT shipping, safe shipping to Europe, and other countries which they have like VATs and tax will have to pay for it upon receiving the game. So that's what we have at the moment. If this change, because we might find some different distribution channels. I know within the business we're trying at the moment to establish we're trying to establish a branch in USA as well as the branch in the UK. So if we manage to establish within UK, it will be much easier for UK backers to receive the product without all this hassle going back and forth with passing the 135 GBP bracket. And in terms of Canadian as well, that will help if we have a set up business in USA. So stay tuned for that one. It's definitely at this stage I can only say we will. I won't promise anything, but we're working towards it. And if we have some good news, we will share it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. One more thing. For the Battlefield expansion, it is planned to be one-sided. This does sound kind of bad. It's more of a situation like you think you do, but you don't. It sounds really bad, but trust me. If it's two-sided, one of the sides will get very, very rough over time, and generally speaking, people just wouldn't be happy. Like I wouldn't be happy with a combat board like that. It gets very roughed up over time. So we just decided to make it one-sided. There will still be it will still all have all the functions that you need to play. So there shouldn't be any issue with that.
Yeah,
we can probably go forward.
Yeah, go for it. There's some more questions, right? Random map versus AI without scenarios. Do we have anything like this? Maybe one of the guys from the rules can answer that question. We'll be able to answer this question.
Oh yeah, that's a very good question. I'm not sure about random generated maps versus AI, but I'm pretty sure there's definitely a mode that allows you to play 1v1. The tournament rulebook allows you to generate random maps, I believe. But versus AI, I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. The miniatures don't come painted, but I believe we will have some information in an update in some time. I'm not revealing anything right now. But yeah, just stay tuned. We'll have an update about it in
tomorrow?
I believe tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow. Yeah.
So yeah, just stay tuned. Everything will be revealed in due time. This is actually a very good question. Right now, the base game, I believe it has 20 map tiles. However, each map tile has 7 hexes, which is a lot more than many different games that are similar. I'm not going to go into the specifics for which game, but I do recommend you count how many hexes are on each tile for each game that you purchase, because a lot of the time, games that have more map tiles also generally that have less hexes on them. So I definitely recommend it. Or they just cost double the amount and they have more map tiles than.
What is important that you can place the map the way you want. So if you actually start calculating the number of possible variations of placing 2 tiles, it starts being extremely huge. I don't think ever you're gonna have exactly the same map played on a battlefield, especially that when you play with a specific hero, you want some elements of this map being more accessible for you, so you will place or rotate that map the way you want it, really. So I can bet you that we'll never have exactly the same map, never ever you can play your entire life. I don't think you're gonna ever have exactly the same map setup with combination of the heroes. So whether we need more tiles for variety, I don't think so. Variety is huge at the moment, so just something to consider.
Yeah, do you consider any changes in the core rules? Yeah, all the time. Either when we realize that we can make something better, or when a backer gives like a really good suggestion or like some feedback from reviewers, then yeah, we definitely consider it. We look into what we can do. If it's not possible, then we leave it as it is. But sometimes we do actually listen to feedback and make changes based on that. I believe the updated rulebook will be available sometime after the campaign. Right now, as we're still making changes, we can't post it, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll get it to you as soon as possible.
That's very important things also to address. I mean, is that the core game won't change. We don't want to recall the bare bones of the game, right? So it's only suggestions to improvement which we might test it and implement. But the core cannot change, basically, because the core is there. We've been play testing through this one for many months, and it works fabulously. So there's no need for actually doing many huge adjustments. Obviously, sometimes when there's some suggestions coming through, which I just mentioned at the beginning, we talked about this one just a few seconds ago, about some suggestions which are going to be implemented, like creatures, not the natural, the faction creatures to be available as a natural. Creatures. So this type of suggestions, yes, we want to make a great game, but you have to bear in mind that we cannot over-engineer it. It cannot be complex whatsoever to the level as it is now. So it's only small improvements, let's call them lean improvements, in order to streamline the gameplay, improve the quality of life in terms of playing the game, and so on. That's very important. Now, the other thing which is very important is also to follow us on the blog post, because we have development blog post. We have also on Board Game Geek something which we update about the changes. So like a running changes document which shows what exactly we have changed in terms of rules, what are the plans, and so on. So yeah, follow that one. You will have more information there as well. Okay. Let's see what we have more there. Is there only one card per creature?
Yes. This was also actually a suggestion that we took very seriously, and we looked into if we can change the core game, because obviously changing the core game, it's a pretty big step to make. But yes, it was changed for more variety, because sometimes we had some playtesters or reviewers, they would draw like the same card 3 times, and it wouldn't be very fun. So we wanted to make sure the game is as replayable as possible, and part of that is also why we introduced the neutral or faction units into the neutral card pool, just as in the original game.
Yeah. Let me just check quickly. Okay, this is like kind of shipping and business. So that's all good, all correct. What we're trying to do, we're trying to put that difference into shipping cost. So the shipping cost as it is on the page is already adjusted by the additional no need of you paying tax, or we don't have to pay that tax back. But again, something very important to bear in mind is that if we set up today in Australia, our branch, we will have to pay taxes in Australia itself. So, we have to be very careful how we're going to be moving in the future in terms of fulfilling. So, at this stage, it's cheaper for shipping, and yeah, that's what I think it's stated on the page as well. Okay, let's move on to questions we have here. So the question regarding the art book, I think the art book will be 128 pages.
Yeah,
that's what we said.
Hardback as well. There's going to be some additional information as well, not just the pictures, I believe.
Yeah, so in there you will find some information about the faction models. We will also have everything nicely painted like miniatures, so also gonna be the pictures of the miniatures in there. Some maybe background, some maybe historical stuff about it, and so on. So yeah, it's still being worked on, and it's gonna be one of the, I think, bigger, better, one of the better art books available on the market. Most of the art books is basically tons of art books, and that's it. We want to do a little bit better. We want to include also a little bit of fluff, little bit of history in the background. Yes. Okay.
The creatures have different levels. Yes, right now they're split into 4 different tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and azure. And they go from weakest to strongest, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Basically, it's a pretty easy question.
Okay, I wanted to ask many. Okay, do we have any more?
I believe there are plenty of other playthroughs in English available. I do recommend searching for them online. This is not just Quackalope, the playtest of the game, right? There are plenty of other reviews that also received the game.
Yeah. And yeah, if you base somewhere in Europe, we were on several trade shows. So I also believe if you go on a Board Game Geek, or you can ask some guys from the groups if they play, because we had loads of playtesting happening in the UK. In Poland, in Germany, on the Essen Spruce. I believe if you want some more information about it, you can find it always there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Will the art book have factions that are not in the game, Inferno? We will see.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we will see. We will see where we're gonna get with everything in terms of unlocks and so on, and we will make a call. It's a good thingy, but you have to bear in mind only the factions which already we have or whatever, we unlocked. We have arts for. So if we just want to make specific artworks just for the factions which were not available during the Kickstarter, it's going to be extremely difficult to implement them, because we're going to have to spend months making additional art pieces. Okay, what else?
Yeah, this is a very, very good question. This is also a very common thing that was asked during, mainly during reviews, actually. During playtests, people were quite satisfied, actually. But yeah, mainly from reviewers. This is something we're still looking into. It's currently undergoing testing. I'm afraid I can't share any more details than that. If it works out, if our designers think it fits the game, then it will likely be added in. But I can't share their thoughts right now.
Yeah. So just sorry, Shimon, just stepping in a little bit here, just to be clear on that thing. The team will be doing full testing, play testing, and they will calculate every single additional downtime which is required for this type of implementation, and so on. And based on that data, and purely on the data, whether it's gonna, if we're going to implement this one and it's going to cause gameplay to expand for not 45 minutes per player, but to 2 hours per player, then it's definitely no go. But we just have to be careful with that one, only that thing. So if we're going to implement, definitely we're going to be posting that information to Kickstarter backers and the Board Game Geek with explanation of our thought through, what's the reason behind it, how we play test it, and what's the outcome, and how it's going to be implemented. Okay. Because you have to bear in mind, this is quite serious change. It's not
it's a very big change.
It's a very big change. It affects the battlefield, affects the setup, and so on. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look what we have more. People have so many questions about the gameplay. Dev DRS or something pictures are just not to show the game. Playthrough videos in English are needed. I agree. Yes, I agree. You have to bear in mind that. The process of development, it's not like we're going to be making the game straight away and we show you, okay, this is the set in stone straight away, and so on. I mean, if you go through any type of Kickstarter, if you go through any type of the board game, we have about 4 months post Kickstarter before we push the button for manufacturing. So within that 4 months time, we're still gonna be revisiting stuff which, you know, been pointed out that needs to be revisited. So if we're going to make full video for you and for you know, just a gameplay, it's gonna be difficult because some people might think, oh, this is the set in stone, which is not set in stone. That's one of the reasons why we, on the videos, when we send out to the prototype, we always say it's a prototype. Okay, some things might change, some might not change. So yeah, but the whole concept and idea is to give you an overall feel of the game, to give you 90% or 95% of ready product and understanding, oh, this is how the game plays. There is some changes might happen, but I know what I'm getting. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look for the next question. This question about the war machines, do we have? Because I've seen that like 3 times already popping.
That's a very good question. The war machines are available in one of the expansions, I believe. It might have been Rampart, for the Rampart expansion. I'm not 100% sure how to obtain them. I believe one of our developers will be able to answer you how to obtain them. So
the guys, if you're watching, help us out.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for believing in us, for supporting us so far. We wouldn't have really made it this far without our fans.
Yeah, it's there's something to say about the team who was making the game. You have to bear in mind that the team is actually extremely excited about it only because they really love the game. They really love the video game, and you can see it through that projects from the beginning to end. I mean, from art, the art was made by fans, by artists, obviously, but she's also a fan. So every single bit of this game is got a small tiny piece of heart added into it. So when we talk about the, you know, video, when we talk about the arts, when we talk about the rules, when we talk about, you know, fluff, everything around it is basically made by fans. Yeah. That was the idea from the day one. We just founded somebody, you know, our team was actually very, very known in terms of Heroes 3, and also we founded somebody on the art station which already was very, very into home art, and as well with, you know, right skill. So that's great. So it's not like made by just, you know, random guys, it's just basically made by fans. So and there is also a funny story because there's lots of arguments about it, how things should be done because everybody had so much love to it that, you know, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, and, you know, the father needs to always go there in the room and say, okay, hold on guys, we have to find the middle ground because we're not gonna move nowhere with this project. Okay. Yeah, right. Next one.
Yeah, as stated earlier, the answer is in the update right now, but yes, there's going to be a siege mode in the Battlefield expansion, and you'll be able to flip the tiles to like make a gate and walls.
Okay. I think some other questions is they coming slowly now through, so slow it down a little bit. That's great. UK custom tax. You should be aware that you're not going to be paying any VAT whatsoever. If you're going to back it, and if you're going to back for the level higher than £155, we will, because legally we have to, we will send you back that difference of 20%, which is the equivalent of 19%, which is equivalent of VAT in the United Kingdom. You're going to get that money back, but then upon receiving the game, you will have to pay that tax. Otherwise, we're not going to be sending you. We're going to be sending you product. You shouldn't be paying anything like VAT, additional VAT tax. I'm not quite sure about the UK custom tax because this is completely crazy at the moment with post-Brexit, and think it's currently getting much better in terms of processing. In some cases, when we used previously some shipping companies, they were doing some additional charges, I think FedEx, but we move away from that. We move away to green logistic, and this project's meant to be sent out with green logistics, which is proven and it works. So there shouldn't be additional charges. And as I mentioned in the stream, we also wanting and aiming at setting up the branch in Nottingham. So that's going to be our center of operation for UK. So it means if we're going to be able to do that towards the, before we ship this product, it will be shipped from the UK company within the UK. So that's also good news. In most of the cases for us, shipping UK, it's a little bit more complex because for every single backer we have to do manual paperwork. So it usually takes a little bit more time for that. Here we have it. Here we have our backer. Okay. It all depends on your area where you are. If you're in the United States, then no. If you're in Canada, depending on the part of Canada, in Quebec, I believe maybe. In some other part of Canada, maybe not. So it's really miss and hit. We really don't know what's your local tax are currently and what your local tax will be when your product will be shipped out to you next year. It changes, completely changes constantly. So yeah. Okay. Do you see any more questions?
I believe you're talking about the adventure deck. I believe. From my understanding, you draw cards from the adventure deck and then you choose. It's a separate game mode. It's completely optional. You draw cards. And you build buildings and recruit units like normally, but it's all just meant to play around this one ultimate battle you fight in against the other player. It's just purely meant to be for a 1v1 mode, where you just want to quickly explore the map and do stuff and then just go into combat immediately.
Okay. So regarding this one, sorry if you reiterating my question, but considering selling B grade, at the moment, no, there is no plan for such expansions. Definitely, there is a plan for. I'm talking here about the retail and the future of the game to add more factions. So those heroes will be, in the faction. But I said there's no plans at the moment. We might bring it back, and it's a good comment, good question. So I will ask to my team whether we can do something like that for the future release today. Okay. I see the the guy's answering your questions as well. That's great. Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of the things about the Brazil. Let me just quickly explain. Okay, so we had a Brazilian backers for other products, and we've been doing like 3 or 4 different Brazilian shippings with our Kickstarter, and always we had basically too many returns coming from Brazil. You have to bear in mind that if something goes to Brazil and hits the border, and there is some taxes to be paid, and if the recipient refuses to pay the taxes, that parcel with the taxes is shipped back to us. So then we have to pay for the taxes, and then we have to pay as well for the shipping it back. And I can give you some examples. We shipped out Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein shipping cost to Brazil was about $40. And on top of that $40, for every single parcel which came back to us because it wasn't collected by the backer from Brazil, we needed to pay almost $100 extra for the shipping it back and pay taxes. So we got like 25 of those parcels coming back from Brazil, and we decided in the future not to do that. But stay tuned. We are working on retail, so maybe once we have this game available in the retail, you will be able to buy it. But at the moment, that's one of the reasons why we decide not to ship to Brazil, because there's a risk of getting massive charges on our accounts with which is crazy. You want to answer some question?
Oh god.
Okay. I think it's round about all, isn't it?
Yeah, as always, we fully support house rules. I'm personally a big fan of of modifications or modding for games. Hey, if it makes you happy, then just go for it. Have you ever considered testing or adding a quantity modifier to every unit card? I believe the backers have. I believe the designers have probably tried something similar in the past, but they said it would. It just made the game take way too long because of the sheer amount of tokens and moving around that players needed to do. So it was eventually scrapped.
Oh, Jakub just answered that question as well. It was too complicated. Yeah, this is the thing which I mentioned before, that when it comes to designing this board game, and specifically this board game, and the main problem is that expectations towards the board game are much bigger than you really wanted. That you really want. The one reason is that if we make like a Heroes board game 1-to-1, it will just basically be countless hours of gameplay. So that's one of the reasons why sometimes we have to find different alternative solutions and some shortcuts. Yeah. Will there be advanced rules added to the rulebook? Yes, I think we have, no?
Maybe.
Yeah, and out loud, I have to again say that this is a prototype version. So that's like Jakub said. I should remember this is prototype version. Okay.
Any Battleground news other than
so I mentioned at the beginning of the stream in terms of Battlegrounds, that's the Master of the Universe Battlegrounds, which we've been releasing for some time now to retail. First quarter of 2023, we're gonna have full yearly schedule to present to you, and then first release it's happening in first quarter, which is the Hordak, I believe. No, I know the new faction. And then I should have some good materials to show you, and then the blog will be available as well, as always, within next few weeks, or maybe towards the end of the year. Okay.
Yeah, this is a pretty good question. I believe right now there aren't really any plans to separate undead creature types. When it comes to the necromancy skill, it's completely it's a faction specific card. There's a little skull on it that you can see, and only the Necropolis can really utilize the card. There's a small section about it in the rulebook, but I did watch a couple of reviewers use the card, and I do believe they accidentally did use it normally, but it's not meant to work like that. Fun fact, but it is technically possible to get the necromancy skill in game, but you have to go through like a whole bunch of loops. Get it?
Should I answer this?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I would say yes. Stay tuned.
Jesus read our minds. That's impressive.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, why does everyone keep guessing our plans for everything? It's
I don't know what's going on, really. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's answer more questions.
Is a paint guide included for the miniatures? I don't think so right now. Right now, I don't think we have any paint guides, but I'm sure you can find plenty of channels on YouTube on how to paint them. I believe we do have a video on our YouTube channel on how the Archangel miniature was made, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, 28mm size mecha. That sounds awesome. Okay. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah. Sorry for confusion if I caused any confusion on the stream. Okay. Do we have any more questions? Oh, there's a question about the miniatures. Will they be injected hard plastic? So the current prototype of resin, that is correct. So we also have small resin facility here. We can still make some resin. We used to make tons of resin. Nowadays it's just basically samples. But in terms in terms of the miniatures, they're going to be made in China as a full package. They've got to be made in China as a full package, and they're going to be made out of the PVC, basically plastic. Now, the hard plastic injection, this is something we are currently working on in order to implement this one into board games, but there's lots of technical aspects which I need to fix it before I will be able to introduce anything into that. So stay tuned for that one as well. I should have some about the future.
Well, listen, you can keep trying to guess. I don't know if you'll be able to guess it, but I mean,
it wasn't on the Board Game Geek, by the way. So
hey, all the power to you.
Wasn't, yeah. Yeah, there's a plenty of actually companies in Poland as well that make still paint miniatures for as a service.
Yeah, the only problem being we don't want to rely on third parties as much. We just want the game to be ready, come to us ready, and when you get it, you can just open it and play pretty much immediately.
Yeah. So one more slide I want to show you. There's one more slide. Voila. So there was a few questions regarding posters. So we'll just clear that out. And that's the posters we're gonna have available in that the highest tier pledge. There's one secret poster which we haven't seen it yet. So yeah, that's what we have. So as you can see, those graphics are much bigger in terms of quality than you would expect it normally. Okay. Okay, what else? I will do that. Yes, we all really excited about the packaging. I mean, the thing is that the previous Dungeon and Lasers were so quickly, let's make it, let's ship it, let's make it, let's ship it, that here we are making so much. We are so ahead in production. We can actually focus on getting stuff painted and making amazing the box art for the backers. Yeah, it's slightly different. Slightly different. You can go to.
Yeah, there's a preview on how it, or at least a render on how the art book is planned to look like, but when it comes to the actual art book, it's still being designed currently, and we should hopefully have it like ready sometime after the campaign, and we'll be able to show it off. I can assure you it'll look amazing. The artists we have are really amazing, and we're really glad to have them on board.
No, I don't. I think it's gonna be just in English. Oh, this is very important question. This is very important question, and thank you for actually pointing this one out. We're not gonna be able to make, I think, in different languages because of the quantity of it. Okay, so the minimum order is it goes to many thousands of books. You have to place order. Basically, we have to make it in one single language. I will make sure the team clarify this one very specifically, that it's not going to be translated, because then just imagine translating that book which holds 120 pages and everything around it. It will be a mayhem, absolute mayhem. We're not going to be able to finish this project till maybe 2025, which is not the case. No. We really extremely focus on getting this delivered on time. We have to. We have very good reputation in terms of delivering our own internal projects, like plastic injection stuff. We have mixed experience, not experience, but let's call it, I don't know, workarounds in terms of delivering when we have to count on third parties. But this time around, we based on experience we have gained with the previous projects, we wanted to deliver on time. So anything we promise, it's really thought through. Whether if we promise something, we're gonna have, we're gonna be able to deliver within the times. Okay. Right. I think it's about to finish. It's 1 hour 10 minutes. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little bit too long. There is one more live chat stream which we'll be holding just towards the end of the campaign. I think the last day of the campaign, just a few hours before it's finished. So some of the questions we also gonna be able to answer there.
Yeah.
So I think it's about to finish. We're going to eat something, burger.
Yeah, sure. Kebab. Hey, I love kebabs.
He's gonna buy it this time round. So thank you again, and
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for backing the game or any of our projects. If you're a fan of Dungeons and Lasers or Rampart.
Yeah. Oh, subscribe to the channel, please.
Join our Discord.
And join Discord and subscribe to the channel, just because those type of updates you can go through now than the previous one. I'm doing constantly anyway, because I just want to make sure that you are informed about the projects, where we are, and all the steps when we're going to be shipping and how, and so on. I think this is the best way of communication for us as well, additionally to normal updates obviously on the page, but this type of updates I really like as well now. I didn't like at the beginning. It was a little bit stressful. But nowadays it's actually going much better, so we can prepare nice information for you on hand and show it. So please subscribe to the channel. Whenever pop out the whenever you get information about the next live chat, just join me. We can then have a chat. I will make sure that we have always something for home and always something for the projects which we're currently delivering. Which I think starting from March will be only home, but everything will be delivered. Okay, anyway, thank you very much, and let's go eat. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you guys.